would probably be backing Liquid every day of the week.
Well, there has always been the concerns for Liquid that in the matches that really matter, they do not tend to perform as well as they had up to that point in the tournament. But I don't think we're quite there yet. I'm predicting Liquid here 2-0. They've just looked too strong so far here at IEM Sydney, and it is certainly their tournament to take. There's a great start for Stewie. He's been one of the best performers on paper, at least statistically speaking thus far. But Lekro, well, there you go. He's got something left to say about this round. 3 kills with the Glock for him, and all of a sudden NIP are into the B bomb site.
Well, not quite there yet. They're still just waiting around in towards Megaton, and Liquid sort of stalking their way through certain parts of the map, looking to see if they can catch one of these NIP players off guard. Actually, having a quick look through the recent history of Liquid, they did lose cash on land in the Pro League of Americas to Complexity, so maybe a bit shaky on that. And the only other time where they've recently played it was against FaZe at Sao Paulo, which was ages ago. So Overpass is their go-to pick every single time, and they're just going straight towards their comfort rather than picking away from the strengths of their opponents.
Oh, that's a good shot to Twist. Not enough to finish him off. He survives on 1 HP, but it really does make him feel a little bit more scared as he backs away and eventually will go down to Dennis. Nitro, the dually action is going to have to be something pretty impressive to do a whole lot in this round, but he creeps his way up to the vent. Gets the better of Lekro with a headshot there, but still more players to find, and eventually Dennis does drop him. 1-0 up for NIP. A decent start, particularly given they're on the T side here, and the T side pistols always a welcome sight.
Yeah, T-side pistol is obviously a big swinging point to allow you to get a lot of rounds on the T side. A lot easier than you would have to do so on the gun rounds, but I feel like as I watch Nuke more and more and more, my opinion's slowly starting to change, and I feel like the T side, particularly with how adept a lot of the teams that choose to play this map quite often are at just using these strategies and putting a lot of rounds on the board and pushing and pull these CT rotations. I feel a lot better about the T side of Nuke for a lot of teams, particularly the ones who are very comfortable playing it.
Yeah, definitely. It has shifted away from being that CT stronghold that we were used to seeing. This is going to be a fantastic grenade. It's 4 out of the 5 NIP players, and timing here for Naf. He's just waiting. Is there a little bit of a hole in the smoke for him to play with here? It starts to fade, but still, Elige will have to be the one to take first contact, and it's not going to go his way. Lekro continuing the good work that he did have on the pistol. Finds the opener for NIP. Plenty more players down here toward the B bomb site though. Liquid will get one back courtesy of Nitro. The grenade to follow up through from him here. Does a bit of damage and twists. Where has that come from? 2 on Electro and Get Right. Naf finding res now as well. And Dennis, he finds himself alone all of a sudden. He's made some noise there in the vent as well. Twist pre-firing the corner, and it's going to be Nitro to finish it off. A very, very nicely executed force buy really from Liquid. Not an anti-force buy, that's for sure.
How many times have we seen Liquid win one of those, though? Particularly on this map on the CT side, they're so good at maneuvering around that vent and unders area. It's something that Astralis do a lot on their CT side of this map as well, is be able to just use those close angles, particularly in towards the lower bomb site, and these awkward engagements for the Ts to actually come away with a lot of these force rounds and win them quite consistently, in all honesty. And now that's going to put Ninjas in a very weird position economically. They're going to have to force into this one with pistols and armor, and if they do go down here, they will have to take multiple saves. Probably just a single, rather.
Well, NIP for now are not really making too many aggressive moves. They've taken control to an extent of Outer, but very quickly that is ripped away from them just alongside the heads of Get Right and Forest, as we do see now NIP live with only the 3 players. Just posted up on the line is Rez, but Naf is like, see you later, mate. No worries about it.
There's your fantasy heading in the right direction once again.
Well, I tell you what, my fantasy is actually pretty poo-poo right now because Renegades have been knocked out. Gratisfaction and JKS, 2 of the main men on my team, and unfortunately that hasn't gone too well for me. But I've still got a few players to keep an eye on. Nonetheless, Team Liquid have been, I think, the best of the bunch when it comes to those fantasies. The fantasy teams, at least. Anyone that's got 1 or 2 of those players is going to be very, very happy. And anyone that's a fan of Team Liquid, I'm sure, has been pretty happy with their performances thus far at IEM Sydney.
For sure, pretty much uncontested in these group stages, it looks like. And at the moment, in a pretty strong position already on the CT side. Again, looking to deflect the save round from NIP. Build up their money nice and consistently. There you go. Clean as you like. It didn't even look. It doesn't look hard.
No, it doesn't when he does it.
Yeah. When I do it, let's not talk about it.
So that's really clean anti-ecos out from Liquid.
100%.
Not the same for NIP, who, after winning the pistol round, have had very little success so far. Just feeling it there, Twists. That is going to be a scary prospect headed into the rest of this series if Twist is going to be playing like that. Such a power player for Liquid. Although, I mean, across the board, really, all of these players on Liquid are kind of power players in a sense.
There we go, the Ninjas making their way towards outside, probably sending Dennis out there on a bit of an expedition. See if he can get something done, and he's walking past that CT red area and towards the secret. Rest of NIP is going to group up in towards this lobby area and think about whether they want to go towards uppers or ramps. It's taking their time, seeing if Liquid's going to get aggressive on them, which hasn't been the case so far. And it will be the contact towards ramp. Stewie, the man in position with the scout. Oh, it's actually the AWP. He doesn't hit the first shot, though.
Maybe he doesn't even need to. Naf gonna swing across the scout there. Not so favourable for him. NIP have managed to gain some control of ramp room now, but where do they go with that? Looks like they want to slide across to hell, perhaps. At least a bit of a look being put in there by Get Right.
They forced Liquid more honest on the rotations, forced them down towards lower, so they have very limited information. Now NIP, with Dennis still in towards secret, looks like they're grouping up to go and hit this upper bomb site. Is just Nitro and is that Twist in the rafter?
I think it is. He has been a danger man for NIP so far today. He already gets 2 before finally being traded out, but he might well have done enough. That said, it's the 2 scopes actually to try and retake this bomb site. Deagle doesn't have a scope, and so Stewie makes good use of it. Dennis now losing a lot of his HP, pushes into Stewie, who won't miss a shot like that. He's been in fine form indeed in Team Liquid, and 4-1. It's looking certainly like a better second coming for Stewie than it was obviously last time he was here with SK, getting knocked out in the playoffs, or before the playoffs I should say, by Greyhound, who right now might be doing the exact same thing to FaZe, I might add. This is definitely a better scenario for him at IEM Sydney.
Complete opposite performance from NIP than we saw in some of the other games. Everyone's a bit slow to start, and Lekro's the real main man that's stepping up.
If you remember, it was NIP starting on the CT side in those games.
That's true.
And the T side actually on Nuke was a little scary for them, especially against E United.
Bit spooky. That is for sure. NIP, another half buy for the lads as they did lose that last one. But wasn't a clean victory for Liquid. Still 2 alive, so not the worst case scenario. But again, losing a couple guns here and there is going to start to chip away at their money.
I mean, how did Zalige manage to get a second there as well? Such a long spray down, but he can keep control of it. I guess, yeah, at the moment NIP is keeping Liquid honest, but they're not doing much more than that.
That's right. Looking like a 5th on the board for Liquid here. Good flashing towards Annex, but dodged by Nitro.
Dodged by Lige there as well. Very hard by Twists, who does finish off Get Right. It's 5-1 now for Liquid. They have really just not skipped a beat at all. Every single game they've played actually here at IEM Sydney, we have had the pleasure of casting purely, and it just seems like they continue on like nothing matters.
Yeah, look, Liquid's the whole reason why I've been going home so early most of these days.
Yeah.
Because they just absolutely dumpster their opponents. And it's looking like at the start of this game, the same thing, although that last round did get pretty close. NRP, they are in striking distance, but they're going to need to actually push it over the line a little bit to fill me with a bit more confidence with damage on towards Nitro.
Yeah, but especially on these gun rounds though. You know, that last one, just pistols really out for NIP. Sure, you get a bit of damage, that's cool, but it's the gun rounds that you really need to start locking down here. Otherwise, Liquid again are going to just build that economy up, which admittedly, like, look at how good the economy is already for Liquid anyway.
Alright, so NIP, bit of spam in towards the lobby, and now starting to expend these smokes out towards outer. Will they send Dennis, or will they send multiple players? Smokes do fly out. It looks like multiple players committing here, and with the Lige holding the line, He's going to need to multi-frag here, or he will be traded out pretty quickly. What's the spacing going to be like for NIP? Looks pretty good to me. Oh my god, Dennis pre-fires the angle, just deletes a leech.
Yeah, it absolutely does not matter where the players are if the first guy just can pop your head off like that. A better start into the round here for NIP, but there is still many worrisome players to deal with. One of them being Stewie, who's rotated down here with the AWP. Utility headed in his direction. No players just yet from NIP.
Still a winnable round for Liquid, particularly if they do get aggressive in the right parts of the map and try to consolidate this disadvantage by catching some of these players off guard. What a peak from Lekro, though. Ninja's starting to warm up a bit here.
Definitely, the players still looking strong. Here's Stewie's chance to put some more numbers on the board, but that goes begging. And now Twist and Nitro. Twist has been particularly impressive for Liquid so far in this tournament, I thought. But it's Nitro the one that's putting the work in this round. Even if he doesn't win it, which it does seem unlikely. Gets a couple of guns away from NIP. Just keeps them busy.
With no real money in the bank, every gun that they take, that is taken away from NIP is going to be dangerous for their economy going forward. Over on the side of Liquid, off to a good streak, so their money's still totally fine for quite a bit here. But for some of their players, are going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of the cash this round in particular, particularly if they're going towards the AWPs and the Augs and buying full utility and stuff like that. That's not a small investment.
No, but it's a large enough bank for Liquid that they do get a very good buy through here. Obviously no head armor on the majority of the players there, but you look at what NIP's got, it doesn't matter.
Interestingly enough, when Liquid's actually going a bit lower in the bank account, two of their players opt not to buy kits intentionally, which is something that you wouldn't see from a lot of other teams. People just buy on autopilot.
That's true. I do think, though, that 3 kits is definitely a surplus if your communication is good, which you'd expect that it would be for a team like Liquid.
It's just nice to see small details that some of the better teams of the world do keep track of, I guess. Now, NIP, I think it's just Dennis up on the silo and everyone else grouped up in towards lobby once again. Which means that with very little map control and very little emphasis in any kind of part of the map, they will have to hit some nice sharp headshots, which I have to say, throughout this tournament and in that last round, NIP are quite good at doing.
Looks like it's going to be a play toward the A bomb site here from NIP. Dennis gets the opener onto Elite, but no full commitment just yet from the Ninjas. Stewie will deal with the players on ramp, and here comes a second peak. Forest! That's a bit more like it. That's more what we saw against E United here on Nuke. Twist is still making it a bit interesting here, as he does actually drop Dennis as well, but not aware of Lekro creeping around the angle there on the left side of that door. NIP up to 3 and starting to get that ball rolling a little bit right now on the T side, which is really good to see. Another couple of rounds and NIP will feel like they've done enough.
So there you go. Two of the players for Liquid who are a little bit poorer than everybody else are going to be dragging the economy down a little bit, but should only be a single save for Liquid before they get back into things. But Ninjas trading rounds with Liquid on this T side is a good sign, on considering their T side was what really was lacking in their opening game in this tournament. Their CT side was pretty impressive. So let's see how cleanly they're going to close out this round and how many more opportunities they're going to give themselves to continue to strike on this T side. It's looking like a 4th for them, and then moving forward with, if they have a strong economy, they're going to have even more opportunities to get 5+, 6, you know, you name it. Which would probably indicate that heading into the next half, this is going to not be a one-sided stomp like we've seen from Liquid most of the time. This is probably going to get a lot closer.
No, well, and that was something that I sort of was trying to bring up before this game did start, right, where Liquid have, I mean, they've had pretty much the easiest run, actually, into the upper bracket final.
Which they should if they're the first seed. You know?
Which is true, right? But Boot, okay, that was never going to be a competition for them. And Big, the form that Big have been in, again, unlikely to really be much of a competition for Liquid. Whereas when you look at NIP, I guess, again, United, probably a fairly straightforward game for NIP, though they did get challenged there. And then Renegades, again, Renegades have underperformed at this event, that's to be fair. But at the very least, NIP kind of had to work for their match there. So they've had teams putting them through their paces, which Liquid haven't quite had, up until this point now where NIP is starting to challenge them. And that is I don't know if that's going to really be much of a factor for Liquid. I suspect that it won't. But NIP have looked good this tournament.
100%. The individuals in particular.
They might well catch Liquid off guard if Liquid is napping.
Fast one down the vent, get right straight down and catches Napfly off guard. That causes the rotation from Stewie. He's getting stormed on by the rest of NIP, straight down Megaton.
See what he can do. Not a lot as he gets smashed in the head by Dennis. That's going to be one of the rounds that I think everyone's going to be looking at and saying, okay, how did they get right down the vent so quickly there? There's a lot that goes into it. The smokes, the flashes, probably spam from a couple or two players from NIP just to mask those footsteps, and inevitably he does get down, gets the job done. Some decent damage being put back in there by a couple of the Liquid players. It is a 2v3 though, so Liquid are going to elect to just give this one up, and that'll put 5 over to NIP. So they've kind of gotten toward the point where you're at a par score now, and the more that you can get on this T side, the easier the job's going to get in the second half.
Heading into the next round, I mean, Stewie, Twist, and Naf, they're out of cash. They're going to be going down to those pistols. 2 rifles for Nitro and Elige are the only real talking points for Liquid. So the likelihood that NIP comes away with the next round is pretty high. Which means, you know, over 5.
Got to see some change-ups here for Liquid. They have been, at the moment, I guess, fairly passive in those bomb sites.
It's crazy performance so far from NIP. Lekro and Dennis in particular having some fantastic form for themselves in the early parts of this game. And if Rez doesn't even have to do anything when he's been, you know, sick in a couple of these games.
Yeah. Like
scary
good sick,
stuff.
not bad sick. Just wait until we see NIP on the CT side. Rez going to lock down Outer. Forest from the rafters. Things are going to get potentially a little bit hairy here for Liquid if it starts to get out of hand in the first half. Naf does at least grab one. Twist is going to take the opportunity to push into lobby here as well. Somehow gets get right, but it's a wooden spoon prize there for Liquid. Okay, at least now the money's getting there for the CT side, so we'll get to see another good round out from them. Tactical pause for Liquid as well.
This indicates that they really realise that this is getting out of hand.
Yep, a lot's being invested into this round for Liquid.
Can't allow NIP to get any more than 6. This is already insane for the lads over from Sweden. They have full money control on their T side. They can pretty much make this entire half competitive, and Liquid will have to win back-to-back gun rounds to make sure that they can have a solid enough number of rounds on the CT side. But already it's danger territory, because I feel like actually, you know, it might feel silly to say watching how impressive NIP is on this T side so far in this game in particular, but I feel like NIP is even better on the CT side from the games that I've watched.
I wouldn't disagree. And to put 6 up there for NIP already, I feel is a very good result for them. We've still got plenty of rounds left to play here as well on the first half, so it can only get worse really for Liquid. Sure, they could win out the rest of the half, but best case scenario, 9-6. I don't know if that's going to be filling them with confidence. This round perhaps will though. Twist and Naf's doing some good work. Eventually Dennis will trade back, but still 2 players only alive for NIP. And now the bomb dropped, and so too is the remaining player. There we go. Liquid, they've finally broken the drought. Back to 6 apiece.
So, Team Liquid taking the tactical timeout and just having a bit of time to chew and digest what Ninjas is really throwing at them. And as a result of that, Ninjas came straight out of the pause and tries to execute a very, very fast annex split. They really do get shut down. Is Twist actually 19 for 7 right now?
Yes.
All right, don't go to uppers.
NIP have had a fair bit of success working outer actually and going into secret. That makes sense as to why you may not want to go to upper for both reasons. Once again, it seems as though the premium is going to be put onto outer from NIP.
Which probably would be the right case, the right place to be placing that pressure and placing that emphasis. Forrest locking down his secret angle, and if Leech just pops his head up a little bit too far, he will die. But good little shoulder peek from the man. Molotov expended, and a couple of Ninjas making their way. Looks like a different approach from them this time around, smoking towards the annex, and they are trying to work this outside warehouse area rather than getting into that secret. What a shot from Naf, though. Threads the eye of the needle and takes out Lekro, but Dennis punishes him for the over-aggression and evens up the man advantage. And with Ninja still with lobby control and some pressure on Outers, although Get Right is making his way back towards Outers here and giving up the lobby.
What Rez going to be able to do has been a little bit quiet for NIP up to this point. Only the 2 kills so far on the first map, but he's got himself in a good position here, lurking his way through hell. Stewie's aware that it is dirty, takes the peek. Good timing there on the connection from Stewie. Now it's Dennis's turn to do much the same.
3-on-3 here. Get Right. In the pick onto Nitro through this door area. They are going to make their way through Heaven Annex into uppers. Swit's under a lot of pressure and he can't deal with it.
He's going to fall to Dennis. Elige up through the vent. How does he win that aim battle? There's 8 seconds here for NIP. They're forced to commit to the plant, but a smoke will keep Stewie at bay. Now we're back into a 2v2. Elige, a very quick flick up. It's Stewie that'll actually get the shot onto Dennis, and now Get Right tapping away. Knows that he's under pressure from both angles, but Elige, low on HP, is an easy one to finish off. Get Right has been tagged, and Stewie will push forward with the pistol. Gets the job done. Easy peasy in the end for Stewie. And that's 7 for Liquid. They only just scrape by in the round.
There you go. I think they worked out how to deal with Twist. You got to run at him from multiple angles and multiple different elevations so he can't just turret you and shoot everything that comes into his crosshair. However, unfortunately, there is some other good players on Liquid. Just a couple.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
So they'll still get the round done even when Twist does go down. So here's a pause out from Ninjas in Pyjamas, the first of 4 available for them. And it is one just to discuss, you know. They're getting a bit low on the cash for Dennis and Lekro in particular, Forest as well. So they want to be winning this round, ensuring that they have a very, very solid buy into the next one. But not only that, they've done good work already on their T side, but you know, you need every single advantage you can get going up against the second best team in the world.
Yeah. I think if Liquid will actually hold this one to 6, NIP will be a bit disappointed. They were doing very well at the start of this half, but it has slowed down a little bit for them. So for NIP, I guess the objective is just to get to sort of 7. Another little cherry on the top would be nice. Liquid not giving up control of this first half so easily. Double orb out for them now. Naf is going to take the secondary. Stewie's been doing a pretty decent job with his already.
Aggression on outside. Elige over here towards CT Red, and Nitro just hiding under the silo here. A lot of ninjas over here.
Well, Elige, he's going to line them all up here if Nitro does it himself. Oh, there you go. That's
Where'd
a gun
they go,
round.
Jordan?
I don't know. You tell me. They're ninjas. They just disappeared. But probably not the way they wanted to. Perfect timing, perfect positioning for Liquid. And NIP's certainly not prepared for the outer stack. The outer push really more so, I think, for Liquid there was what did it for them.
That's going to put NIP's economy in the bin. No bomb plant from the lads, so Forrest is the only one who could get an AK, and he's had to go without head armor. $50 more, and he could have had it, but he had $36.50. Everyone else, not good weaponry at all. They're almost out of util as well, expending most of that to send Dennis in towards this secret area, and now they're grouping up in towards lobby.
Oh, there goes that.
All of the utility summed up in one moment where Elige just pops Dennis's head.
Yeah, see you later, mate. 4v5 now for NIP in the last round of the half. If they can make it 7, that'd be lovely for them, but Twist certainly has other ideas. He has been an absolute machine here on the rafters. And Liquid go up to 9.
Do we do highlights in the halftime, Jordan?
I think we do.
Get ready for a Twist highlight reel.
Well, there you go, everybody. We'll leave it at that. Time for a break. Be back soon.
Skies, dreaming big and aiming high. Name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away. our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Book a plane, fly away. We will never be the same. And as long as you are mine, come on and run away. We wanna run away. We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy, 'cause they don't understand what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. We're no kids no more. I need to feel alive in this dreadful town. I'm running out of time, and as long as you're mine, I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching.
It's 9-6 at the end of the first half. Team Liquid leading, but they did start on the CT side. I'm not so sure that the first half necessarily leans one way or another. NIP, we know, very solid here on the CT side of Nuke. So I think this map still is hanging in the balance.
100% could go either way, but you really have to look over on the side of NIP at the performances across the board. Rez and Forest having a bit of a quiet one, and they are two very fearsome players on the CT side with their M4 work and things of the like. Rez towards that lowers area usually, and Forest in that upper bomb site locking down Squeaky. So they're going to be pretty key players to be stepping up the performance for NIP, and you know, you can't rag on it too much. Sometimes on the T side of Nuke you can end up like, whoa, getting one beat.
Yeah, or on the CT side, I suppose. I suppose that's why you want to be taking a P250 into the round, isn't it? And there's another one for NAF. He's cleaning them up one by one.
Yeah, smoke onto the windows, and they're going to send a Liege like a sneaky man in towards that locker room. But Ninjas, they're down 2 men, so they're going to try to make their way into lobby here. But there are Ts waiting for them.
It's just Stewie at the moment waiting, actually, in the lobby. So only the one. One might well be enough here for Liquid. He cannot calibrate quite onto Get Right. Still, it's going to allow Liquid a bit more freedom on the other areas of the map, and they're very quick to take advantage of that, streaming into the A-bomb site. And Forest, he was a bit crazy when we saw NIP going up against a United on this map on the CT side, but gonna have to do something particularly nutty this time.
Nice start to things. First 1B and gets a Liege as well, but no kit. So if Liquid continue to waste his time here, he won't be able to close it out this round regardless of a few impressive shots.
He's trying to move as quickly as possible, as you can see. Chasing Nitro down. Twist is there to help him out, though. 10-6, it's a pretty important pistol, actually, to lose there for NIP. Not quite as big of a deal for Liquid to win, in my mind. More so just to make sure that NIP can't come back into this second half so easily. And now it really becomes a difficult job, actually, for the Ninjas.
It does. I mean, it's good to win that CT pistol because you get your economy off on the right foot. You get all the utility to be able to shut down the rushes and potentially get money for an AWP or something like that, though that's not going to be as relevant for this Ninjas side. But they're going to force into this one. pistols and B9 a scout on res towards the Souders area. Wall of smoke's being expended for Liquid as they make their way down towards the secret. And we saw how this force buy worked for Team Liquid in the last half. They won it, and Rez is already off to a good start. Blows the head off of Nitro, and Liquid going to make their way down lowest towards Dennis, who's the only player who waits for them with the Deagle.
You love to see it. The scout headshot, one of the more satisfying kills you can get, I think, in Counter-Strike. That and the Deagle. There's one of them. Dennis, what a shot onto Stewie. Well, talk about accuracy and pistol prowess. Dennis certainly is a player that you could mention. And Liquid have some work to do to make their way back into this round. There is the 1 kill onto Dennis, though, that makes the job a little easier. Still more to find, though, for Liquid.
Just having a chat in towards the secret area about what exactly they want to be doing. Walking around through lowers, trying to find one of these Ninjas players. Caught a little unawares, but the problem is for Liquid, they don't have any utility to actually cross onto this lower bomb site.
Oh, still a 1-for-1.
Totally
Slecro
fine.
gets one with the Deagle before he falls.
Forrest actually has a kid as well, and oh, look at his walk in towards round. There's 2 CTs here.
Double peek, just not quite coming into effect as Naf spotted Forrest before the fact. Good shot though from Rez, close range with the scout. He gets the headshot nonetheless. Where is Get right now? He's up onto lobby. Where does Naf go as well? Oh, this might be a mistake if he keeps going to the A bomb site. Get right is hanging around there. Do they hear each other? Certainly Get right would have heard that. No, he's not. He's gone all the way down into the B bomb site. Bombs being planted up on A. If only he was a couple of footsteps closer, I feel he would have heard that. But now it's on to Get right to try and come back into this one. He's made it difficult for himself, that is sure. And no kid as well at the moment, but he spots Naf early, and that is a saving grace. Wonder if he just sits the defuse here. It would not be a bad decision. Naf is going to charge straight out onto the site. Get right will take the peek here again and wins the aim battle. Headshot across from him. Very nicely done. An important round for Win. The NIP guys are going to be cheering after that one.
100% get straight back into things, and that's 2 force buys converted in pretty different fashions on the CT side for both teams. And you might wonder, how's Get right? Why is Get right running down the vents or walking down that ladder when Naf's planting uppers right next to him? Well, for all of those who haven't played on LAN with in-ears, the sound is pretty one-dimensional compared to your at-home sort of headphones and stuff like that. So you can't really tell the difference between up and down a lot of the time.
Yep.
Particularly when he was in the position of vents where the bomb sites are pretty much in the same direction kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's more right and left than up and down. Liquid, they will be forced on the save.
Nonetheless, he won the round anyway, so let's not get too hung up about it.
Oh. Bit of context for you. Oof. All right, Rez, he's warming up a little bit.
That's what you want to see as well for NIP.
Scout headshots, M4 headshots. Got them all. Any
man.
other kind of headshots you like, Jordan? P250 headshots, perhaps?
Org? We got an Org headshot in there somewhere?
Yeah, maybe.
I think we see a bit of that from Rez every now and then out from their warehouse position. I do like watching him play here, though, because for NIP, it is such a treat how they control outer. And 10-8, starting to make some inroads back in that deficit. Liquid are going to get a buy through here, but already NIP are starting to get themselves settled on the CT side.
Yeah, Liquid a bit scuffed in terms of the utility, in all honesty. 2 smokes for Legion Nitro. Twist hasn't got a single lick of grenades. Just a SG for the man. So they're going to have to be running something fairly simplistic here because they don't have that second wave of utility to be leaning back on. Smoke in towards the close area of outer. Just going to be running straight across towards Secret, it looks like. Rez will hear these footsteps if they don't start walking towards Secret, but they do walk in time, so no info really for NIP to be dealing with. And with NIP grabbing that first player into Secret, or 2 players into Secret, they're going to make their way back towards lobby and potentially contact in towards ramp or put pressure on upper to force the rotations. Liquid's in a very good position. There's no one in lowers for NIP. And there's 2 Liquid players already locking down vent and through windows. But if NIP can stop this lobby push, then the round's over because that's the bomb.
Lekro might just be the man to do it. He might get the first, but I'm not sure about the second. A good trade from Stewie. Dennis there, however, does put a spanner in the works. He's only on the 1 HP and actually gets spammed away. That was through the smoke. Nonetheless, Liquid starting to make their way down. So is Get Right, and probably went a little bit further down than he would have liked that time. Forest 1v3. And we know he is a bit of a legend in his own right, but this is going to need to be a legendary clutch.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. And the second that Liquid got down 2 players through Secret without any information from NIP, that round's pretty much over because they had no one rotating in time to actually be able to deal with it. And the second that I saw Nitro was in vents holding on to that, and you had the player over towards Megaton as well, and NIP was still in their sort of standard formation, completely unawares.
It's a real push and pull of a game at the moment, isn't it?
Well, as long as NIP were able to get through ramp there, they were always going to... Oh, Liquid were going to be able to get through ramp there. They were always going to be totally fine. They did indeed.
What I'm saying is Liquid, they get around, NIP pull a couple back, and now it's Liquid's turn. So it may still have a couple more twists and turns for us this particular map before we do end up figuring out who's going to go through with a 1-0 into the second map. Still up here on Silo. Just checking anything that's going on at Outer, but not really seeing a whole lot. NIP, with only the pistols in this round, are not too keen to take those long-range battles. Nitro starts to work his way forward. Will be caught off a little bit there by Dennis, who just continues to take the peaks as Nitro runs out of bullets. And there we go, first player down, and NIP start off well. Not sure that Dennis will get out of that position alive, or won't get out of it easily.
Ramp room control for Liquid, despite the fact that they've lost a player. Over on the side of NIP, they have Get Right in towards Secret, I think it is. But apart from that, no one in towards Lower. But these players making their way... Oh, I don't think he's got the shadows on the side of Twist, at least not that high, so he doesn't know Forest is above them.
Unfortunately, Forest, he needed the double blink there, I think, and won't be able to get anything out of his position, even though it was quite a good one. Which means the rest of NIP will probably follow suit. Lekr0, a bit of a demon, actually, for Team Liquid to deal with, but only the 1 kill out from the Deagle. It's not enough to really trouble Team Liquid at this point. And the slow march continues, 12-8. Only 4 away now from the first map win for Team Liquid. NIP, though, do have a pretty good buy through here, and look particularly towards players like Rez, who are going to be holding on Outer.
Yep. So Liquid got away with a pretty interesting round in the last gun round, just sneaking those 2 players through through Secret and then just contacting ramp. It wasn't anything crazy exceptional out from the side of Liquid. This round they do have the utility to be able to run whatever kind of strategy they wish to. It's just NAF towards the Outer. Wall of Smokes goes out for Liquid and they send NAF in towards Secret. The rest of them just group up towards this lobby area. So it looks like they're going to put a lot of pressure on towards Outer and then potentially just explode into that uppers area with the smoke on towards Heaven, which is going to be, I think, only 1 player to defend for NIP, if I'm correct. It's just Get Right. Oh no, he's joined by Dennis now. He drops down from the Heaven.
Yeah, and Forrest is down on B at the moment. He was the one that really was a very, very strong player on the A-bomb site from what we've seen so far here in IEM Sydney. But I guess with the UMP, it's not going to be as much of a factor. Get Right flashed out. Nicely done. Good spacing from Liquid. But they still don't know that Dennis is hanging around here in Hut. Maybe he's not even going to be required. Rez has gotten 2. But Dennis's position here is so strong. Crossfire there with Lekr0.
Oh, they doubled down the vent though. They've completely juked the ninjas, and Smoke and Molly on towards Megaton, plant behind, and Twist has a flash to send Nitro into this Megaton if they want to push it as well.
Could go straight through the smoke. That would definitely catch Lekr0 off guard, and it seems as though that might be possible. In the end, actually, both the NIP players get the better. I say that, though, as Nitro does find Lekr0 and creeps back around the corner into Megaton again to safety. It was actually a bomb plant for Megaton as well. We didn't see the reset. But now Nitro has all the cards in his back pocket. Dennis a couple of flashbangs, but that's not going to make it easier to get this defuse, and Nitro won't miss that shot. 13's up for Liquid. It's a close round indeed, but oh god, look at the money for Liquid. They don't care if they've only got the 1 player alive.
There you go, Team Liquid just 1 step ahead in the mid-round Although NIP did a good job of shutting down that upper execute and trading out. Rez in particular, massive impact from the man, but fortunately they just got swindled in towards the late round and Liquid do come away with it. So it's starting to look a bit dire for NIP on their map pick. Though they had a good Teague side on CT. Liquid's been getting it done time and time again, so Deagles across the board for NIP, and heading into the next round, they will get a buy on the board, but it's one of their last opportunities to start to build up some rounds and get a foothold into this CT half before Liquid shuts them out of it.
Whoa.
All right, Get Right's not the person I'd be expecting that to come out from, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you would, especially if you're NIP. Unfortunately, what they also have to take is a couple of deaths there. So Lekr0 and Forest, I don't know what they're going to be able to do here, especially with the flashbang. Good utility from Liquid. Forest on his own now. He's had a few situations like this on Nuke so far, and none of them have really eventuated into anything. And those were ones where he had a gun to play with. This time it's just a Deagle. Liquid are on a pretty steady march here. You know, it took them a little while, I think, to get on top of this game, when it was going backwards and forwards for a while in that first half. But now it seems like it's definitely over. NIP fall by the wayside on Nuke.
Let's see if Forest is going to be able to hold on to this SG. He does go down to Nitro, so no guns swindled away there for NIP, and they will just have to buy up into this round as best they can. No AWP for the lads, but it's not the worst thing in the world for a team like NIP, who don't necessarily need one. Pretty limited utility on some of their players, but for the most part, pretty good buy. Interested that Get Right actually went for head armor over utility there. The same thing with Lekr0 and Forest. I'd love to know what the reasoning is for that, considering that Liquid's got money for days, you know? It's not like they're not going to have AKs and SGs and one-shot headshot weapons, but 3 of the NIP players have gone for head armor over utility.
I guess you could go back to the concept of maybe just buying on autopilot.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to get pistoled in the head or something when Liquid run out of AK bullets. I just don't really. I don't know. I think the utility is much more important at this stage, particularly on a map like Nuke.
Well, it may not really have much of an impact regardless. NIP have a big, big deficit to come back from. So I suppose nitpicking at this point, but Liquid are looking like the better team, and it just seems like they've got enough rounds really to play with to close this one out fairly comfortably.
Would agree with you. See what it's going to be from Liquid. Nitro and Stewie towards that outside area, and the rest of the lads just grouped up in lobby, making sure NIP is not getting any cheekiness through the ramp, room pushes, or hut or squeaky. Now Nitro's made his way over towards this T-red area, and he's going to actually send Stewie on a mission over here towards the warehouse, putting Rez under a lot of pressure. That's going to be a very important duel as this round continues, but Stewie's not actually going to do anything. He's put already enough pressure on the rotations of NIP that as long as he stays alive, they're going to be worried about his presence, which is going to create gaps in the defense for Team Liquid to exploit elsewhere.
Look at that, man. Team Liquid just have an absolute ring around NIP right now. Slowly they're going to start to encroach. It's going to be Stewie that may well be the first to strike. In fact, he runs into Rez. Didn't expect him there in the CT spawn. Now it's Lekr0's turn to take contact and gets a good fight onto Naf. There's obviously a few more players here from Liquid that he's going to have to deal with, but the longer that he survives, the more time it wastes for Team Liquid, and maybe even he can find one more kill here, which he can. Elige goes down and Twist, he's on his own. The headshot comes across from Lekr0. He's an absolute beast today.
He literally, did you see what his M4 was called, by the way?
I did not.
His M4 is named Goblin, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He's hid in that corner, hid behind the box the entire round.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
Look at it. Oh no, the names aren't on the replays. I'm sad. Oh well.
You could maybe see it on the side of his gun there.
You just have to take my word for
on
it.
the actual name tag.
Alright. Bit of a mixed buy in here from Liquid. Stewie buys all the way down. Naf's still got himself an AK. That's going to be the drop down the vent. Nitro's straight down there. right at the start. Ninjas seem pretty well aware of this in combination with the outside smokes that are coming out now. So Dennis already down in this lower bomb side is enough presence for NIP to feel a little bit safer about things, but as the round sort of slowly starts to progress, particularly with that vent control, that really limits where they can and can't rotate on the side of NIP. They pretty much can only come through this megaton area. And Liquid have enough utility if they clear out Dennis to be able to smoke off Megaton and actually get across to the bomb site, get the bomb down and put themselves in favourable positions towards Windows and Decon. Dennis is under a lot of pressure here and Lekro is trying to cover him.
Yeah, it's looking a bit interesting right now for NIP, but that settles the nerves a little. Twist goes down. Still the AK available, but NAF initially falls as they make their way onto the bomb site. Not enough quick trades coming out here for Liquid for it to really be too problematic for NIP. And Nitro... He knows that any damage that he could do here would actually be pretty relevant. But just gets the timing wrong there onto Rez. So, is there a story yet untold here on Nuke? Looked like Liquid was going to walk to a victory fairly comfortably, but now all of a sudden, NIP starting to pull it back a little bit.
I mean, you can look at it for what it is. A couple of these rounds could have gone the way of NIP. Like that first gun round in particular, where NIP had a much better buy than Liquid and they snuck across to Secret. You know, I guess it's a positioning. It is a little bit of an info mistake coming out of NIP, but it is a little bit unfortunate at the same time. And then some of the other rounds getting a little bit close here and there, that Liquid seem to be coming away with a lot of the clutches and stuff like that in this map in particular. So maybe this is the opportunity where NIP can show us the opportunities that they've missed, and that was a pretty convincing shutout of that last round. And now Liquid will take another save, which is going to give Ninjas potentially a chance to continue to build up to their economy. They've already got 3+ on a lot of their players. Dennis is the only one who's lacking a bit in terms of the cash. So if they close out this one fairly cleanly as well, then they should be feeling pretty alright about this.
Nitro very quick on the vent drop.
Great movement from the man. That's not easy to do at all. A lot of practice, a lot of hours into playing this map for you to be able to move like that straight down the vent. The rest of Team Liquid now trying to make their way across as well, but stopped by the Molotov of Rez, including the spam, but they're going to run just straight through the smoke anyway.
Yep, they're okay.
Lekro down here in a good position, goblining once again.
What can Liquid do from this position? A lot of players down there, a lot of presence from Liquid, but once more, it's the two guys for NIP that have situated themselves fairly comfortably for now.
The problem is that last time, Liquid actually had a Molotov as well as a smoke to be able to get past Megaton. This time they had no utility.
Yeah, it's just going to be on the fragging department. Elige actually pops out there and does get the cleanup that Twist started. Player gets close to Megaton, so Nitro, I think he might have made a footstep there or two. GetRight certainly seems aware. Had he had another gun, he probably wins that aim battle, but the MAC-10 not really having that stopping power. Where is NAF right now? He's creeping his way through ramp room.
And it's not even planted for him, he just wants an exit or two.
Yeah, could well get one on to GetRight if he checks the correct angle. And that would give him an AUG as well. So I think NAF will be pretty happy with that.
2 guns taken away from NIP.
Bomb down as well.
Yep. Not too bad for Liquid, but by the same token, not too bad for NIP. Doesn't really sway either way, in my opinion. But problem is that NIP, they got to be closing out a couple of gun rounds in a row. And they're going to have to impress us even further.
They've been doing good so far.
First step of many for them. And for Team Liquid, they just want to push it across the line. Again, looks like smokes towards outside being lined up from the Liquid side here. Fairly stock standard setup from NIP across the board, although it does look like they're playing retake on ramp in this round. Just Lekro towards the elbow. Now the wall of smokes do come out to send NAF down this secret area, and the rest of Liquid are not with him. They're going to group up in towards the lobby, but there is a bit of a gap, so Dennis does count the amount of players that actually made it down towards secret.
NAF's going to re-smoke it and back off, actually. So this changes things up. Liquid going to be very quick into the A bomb site off the back of it. They haven't spotted anyone just yet, but GetRight is there waiting. Doesn't matter, though, what he's doing, because Stewie and Athleage all have other ideas. Now it's time to get right, to really double down and find multiple, but not an option for him this time. And Lekro, it just feels like all too familiar territory for NIP, having one player against multiple of Liquid, and for all the good that you're going to be able to do, win that first Angel, sure. But he's on 28 HP, and there's just another one there.
And unlike Liquid, for NIP, there hasn't been a whole lot of emphasis in towards this upper bomb side. Like last time we watched them on the CT side, when they were pretty impressive, it was Forest absolutely banging everyone out of the server on the CT side. And in this game in particular, the two upper players of GetRight and Forest are having a bit of a quiet one, which may indicate why Liquid has had so much success heading in towards this upper bomb site time and time again. Whereas Dennis and Lekro, the two guys that are really stepping up and locking things down are towards that lower area and are the rotating sort of players. So every time that Liquid goes down lower, we're seeing them getting shut out a lot of the time. But towards upper, they've had a lot of success. So NRP, last chance for them, not the best buy on the board, which really means that even more so some of these players towards the key positions that NIP's are losing time and time again, they need to actually step up in terms of their firepower, because they're not going to have the utility to fall back on.
It's not looking good for NIP, is it? Just one round to go for Team Liquid, and then they're only one round away from the semi-finals at Kudos Bank Arena, having already secured that spot in the quarterfinals, getting through to the upper bracket final of Group A, which is where we are right now. They really haven't skipped a beat here at IEM Sydney. You know, their whole storyline about Team Liquid has been that this is their tournament to take, and I'm starting to believe that as well.
Facer out of the equation. They're the only ones that were stopping Liquid at that Blast event in Miami, I believe it was.
Yeah, unless MIBR sort of goes God mode and rekindle some of that fire that they had in 2017. I don't know who's going to stop them at this point. Look at that. Twist just cleans up Dennis so easily. 3v4 right now. Liquid have got the numbers in this round. Rez might well make a difference. It's Forest this time actually peeking through the smoke that finds Elige. And still he's got so many angles to be aware of. Trades coming backwards and forwards across the board. What a chaotic round. But after all of that, Liquid come out with the advantage, and Nitro just hits a clean shot on to GetRight to finish the map off. 16-11.